All right, so we're going to continue working with the quadratic formula. Um, a baseball player throws a ball from center field to home plate in an attempt to get a runner out at the plate. The height in meters t seconds if the ball is thrown is given by the function h equals negative 0.45 t squared plus 0.25 t plus 3.11. How long will it take for the ball to reach the home plate? So when the ball reaches home plate, its height is 0. What units do we have in here? Meters. When ball reaches home plate, height of ball is 0 meters. It's just one piece of information we know. So what we're going to do, we got this nice formula here, is it says how long, that's time. In this case, we're looking at seconds. All right, and so we're looking for the t value. So over here in the equation here, we know we're going to substitute 0 in for h. So substitute, there we go. H equals 0. So 0 equals negative 0.45 t squared plus 0.25 t plus 3.11. So we need to get this down to t equals. So we're supposed to find t. Now, so to find t here, we're going to use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula says t equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Well, our b value here is 0.25, so I can say negative 0.25 plus or minus the square root of 0.25 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times negative 0.45. So looking at this, I've got the numbers in there. Now let's just put them into the calculator. So I'm going to bring up my calculator here again and show you again how to put this in your calculator. I always put what's underneath the square root in my calculator first and then take the square root of that, and then that will help me to do my values here fairly quickly. So let's bring this up a little bit bigger. There we go. Clear that out of there. So you got 0.25 squared. So 0.25 squared minus 4 times a times c. I got negative 0.5355. So negative 0.25 plus or minus negative 0.25 plus or minus the square root. What was that value? Negative. How did I get a negative? Something's wrong. Let's double check here. Did I write the formula down? Yes. B squared minus 4 times A times C. And I end up getting a negative. Oh, I see. Forgot to put the negative in here. It's a negative 0.45. So I'm going to put the values in here correctly. So we got 0.25 squared minus 4 times negative 0.45 times 3.11 equals, there we go, 5.6605. All divided by 2 times negative 0.45, 2 times negative 0.45 gives me negative 0.9. So let's figure out those two values. We've got negative 0.25 plus the square root of 5.6605 equals, divided by negative 0.9 equals, and we end up getting t is about negative 2.37. And let's find your other one here. We've got negative 0.25 minus the square root of 5.6605 divided by negative 0.9, and we get 2.92. So we either have negative 0.27, negative 2.37 seconds, or 2.92 seconds. Now, how does that make any sense? The baseball player threw a ball from center field, so kind of think about this. It's up so much, comes down, and hits over here. So obviously we need positive time here because we're over here in the quadrant. 1 over here, so 1, 2, 3, about something like that. So it hits over here at 2.92, and going backwards in time here, going backwards, this is negative 0.237. So if obviously you can't have negative time here, so we're going to ignore this one, and we're going to take the positive value because we need positive time. The discriminant, the value discriminant determines the number of x-intercepts the solutions of the graph they're going to have. So the discriminant is what's underneath the square root up here, so it's b squared minus 4ac. If b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, that means that it's a positive value. Then we are going to have two real solutions. And let me kind of show you an example of that. So for instance, you've got a graph here, and it looks something like this. So you've got two solutions here. So those two would be two x-intercepts. And then if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, so if it's equal to 0, then you've got one real solution. And that's because the vertex is sitting on the x-axis. So you've got one x-intercept. And then if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, so that means it's negative underneath the square root. Then there's no real solutions. And why is that? Why there'd be no real solution? There'd be no real solution because the parabola here, oops, that line just cut over there, is either above it or below it. So you can see here it's going up and it's never going to hit the x-axis there. Therefore, there's no real solution on that. So whenever you have a negative value underneath the discriminant, you're going to get a no real solution. So let's try one of those. It says evaluate the discriminant and determine the number of real solutions. So all we have to do is find b squared minus 4ac. We don't have to do anything else, just find that. So my b value, remember it's still ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. My b value there is negative 3, so negative 3 squared minus 4 times a times c. So again, if you want, you can just plug it right into your calculator there. So I can go negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5, and I get 49. So since I got 49 there, 49 is greater than 0, so since b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, because that's 49, we end up having, therefore, we have two real solutions. So two real solutions, and the value is 49. So let's come down here and let's do another one. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Again, just plugging our values in there. We've got b squared minus 4ac, and that's the only part we have to do. So just evaluate the discriminant. This is the discriminant. Let's find out what happens. So b here is negative 3 this time. A here is 2. And c here is 7. So plugging that one in, we get negative 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times 7. And we get negative 47. So this time b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. So if it's less than 0, we have no real solution. So we've evaluated the discriminant and we determined the number of real solutions. So both of those parts is part of our answer there. We've got 49, two real solutions, and then part B, negative 47, and no real solution. So we had to do both of those pieces there. So now you can continue to work there, working more this time with the discriminant here, and then some word problems. All right.